Good day, everyone. Welcome to Electrostatics. Learning made easy. My name is Mr. Ayolile. Today I'll be taking likely questions on Jamb physics. Number one, which of the following statements about wave is correct? Which of the following statements about waves is correct? Looking at the options. Option A, transverse wave can be polarized. B, sound wave cannot be diffracted. That one is not correct because diffraction is a property of wave. Visible light requires a material medium for its propagation. Progressive wave cannot be reflected. So those ones are not correct. The one that is actually correct is transverse wave can be polarized. So the correct option is option A. The next, a car in motion triples its speed. By what factor does its kinetic energy increase? Looking at the formula for kinetic energy, Ke equals to half mv squared. So from that question, if the speed is tripled, automatically we'll be having half m. So the v will now be what? Will now be 3 raised to power 2. So at the end of the day, the speed will be what? To be 9. So it means that the kinetic energy will be increased by the factor of 9. The next question, when the pointed end of an uncharged optical pin is brought near the cap of a positively charged electroscope, it is observed that the gold leaf A, collapse slowly, B, vibrates, C, are not affected, D, diverge. Whenever the charge on the body is different from the charge of the electroscope, what will happen is that the leaves, the divergence of the leaf will be much. So looking at the question very well, the body is on charge and is brought near a positive charge. That means the divergence will decrease. So the correct option is option A. It will collapse slowly. The next question, which of the following factor does not affect dew points? A, the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere. B, vapor pressure. C, wind. D, temperature. Now, the factors that affect dew points are temperature is there, wind is there, the amount of substance present in the atmosphere is there. So the one that is not part is vapor pressure. So the correct option is option B. Next, which of the following is the correct unit of electrical energy consumed at ohms? So this one is talking about how NEPA people are rating their customers. So the correct option is option B, that's kilowatt hour. The other unit of power, but the one that NEPA people are using to rate their customer is in kilowatt hour. So the correct option is option B. A metal rod of density 7.0 times 10 to the power 3 kilogram per meter cubic and cross-sectional area 1.25 times 10 to the power minus 3 meters square has a mass of 1.76 kilogram. Determine its length. Determine its length. So, by formula, density is given by mass over volume. And in the question, we have been given the density to be 7.0 times 10 raised to the power 3. The mass of the body is given as 1.76. Now, if you look at volume, volume can be given as length multiplied by breadth multiplied by height. And length multiplied by breadth is the area, and we have been given the area in the question. So, the area will now be given as 1.25 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 3. And we are asked to calculate the length. So, the length is the same thing as the what? As the height. So, we are going to make h the subject of formula. So, h will now be given as that will be 1.76 divided by 7.0 times 10 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 1.25 times 10 raised to the power minus 3. So 1.76 divided by 8.75. So 1.76 divided by answer. So the answer is 0.20 meter. So the correct option is option D, 0.20 meter. Next, number 7, an ebonite rod rubbed with 4 attracts a glass rod rubbed with silk because A, ebonite rod has negative charge while glass has positive charge. B, ebonite rod has positive charge while glass has negative charge. C, both have negative charges. Then D, both has positive charge. If you look at the question very well, an ebonite rod we have a negative charge while glass we have a positive charge. So there will be a force of attraction between them. So it means that ebonite rod has negative charge while glass has positive charge. That's the correct option. The correct option is option A. Next question. A transformer could be designed to step up a DC voltage by. So the only area where this transformer can be used as a step-up transformer is when the turns, the number of turns in the secondary is more than the number of turns in the what? In the primary. So next question. The deviation of alpha particle by tin metal foil through angles that ranges from 0 degree to 180 degree can be explained by looking at the options that are here. The correct answer is Ernest Rutherford model. That's the only model that explains alpha scattering. A note that is twice its fundamental frequency. A octave, B beats, C overtone, D harmonies. The correct option is octave note. Octave note is a note that is twice its fundamental frequency. The correct option is A. Given the equation y equals to 0.2 sine 100 pi t plus 2 over 7 pi x, where x and y are in centimeter and t in seconds, represents a plane progressive wave. Determine the distance traveled by the wave in 2 complete cycles. Now, the general equation of wave can be given as A sine 2 pi ft plus 2 pi x over lambda. So equating this, because from the question 2 complete cycles, so we need to get the wavelength. Now 2 pi x over lambda is equivalent to 2 over 7 pi x. So pi x will cancel pi x, 2 cancel out 2. So we are left with 1 over lambda equals to 1 over 7. Finding the inverse of both sides, lambda equals to 7. Now 2 complete cycle tells us that that's 2 lambda. So therefore, we are 2 lambda will be equals to 7. So lambda will be 7 divided by 2. So lambda equals to 3.5 meter. Looking at the option, the correct option is option A, 3.5 centimeter. Because in the question they said the y is in centimeter. Next. Which of the following source of energy are inexhaustible? When we say inexhaustible, that is the source of energy that we cannot use up. So 1, we have solar. 2, petroleum, we can use up petroleum. 3, tidal power. 4, wind. So the correct options are Roman figure 1, Roman figure 3, and Roman figure 4. So the correct option is option C. A wave has a frequency of 2x and wavelength of 30 centimeter. The velocity of the wave is dash. So f is 2x. The wavelength lambda is 30 centimeter. So we need to convert that 30 centimeter to the standard units. So we divide it by 100. That's 30 divided by 100. So that will give us 0.3 meter. So they ask us to calculate the velocity of the wave. So the general equation of wave is given by v equals to f lambda. So v equals to 2 multiplied by 0.3. So that one will give us what? Even if we use this one, that's if we use this one direct, 3 divided by 10. 2 here 1, 2 in 10, that's 5. So 3 divided by 5, that will give us 0.6 meter per second. So the correct option is option D. The angle of incidence of a ray of light on a plane mirror is 55 degrees. Determine the angle between the reflected ray and the normal. So we can represent the mirror surface like this. So this is the coated surface, this is the reflecting surface. So if the angle of incidence is coming like this and incidentally at angle 55 degree, incidence, they ask us to determine the angle between the reflected ray and the what? And the normal. So this is the normal, this is the normal, this is the reflected ray. So the angle between the normal and the reflected ray will actually also be 55 from the law of reflection, which says that the angle of incidence is the same as the angle of reflection. So the correct option is option B, 55 degrees. Which of the following practices will lead to losses in electrical power transmission? One thing you have to know, when power is being transmitted, for example, when they are transporting or transmitting the light from the transmission station to other stations, so the power must be transmitted at a very high voltage and low current to minimize energy loss. So let's look at the option. Using a step-down transformer at the production end, no? B, transmitting at high voltage and low current. So that's the correct option, option B, transmitting at very high voltage and low current. Large auditoria usually curtained heavily to prevent the occurrence of A, echo, B, diffraction, C, interference, D, overtone. The correct option is echo, to prevent echo, reflection of sound waves. The next, the force with which an object is attracted to the earth is called A, acceleration, B, mass, C, gravity, D, weight. The correct option is weight. Some people will be confused about gravity. Gravity is a concept that describes the acceleration due to gravity or the downward force of an object, but weight is a downward force. So the correct option is the weight, because we are talking about what? About force. Which of the following physical property does not increase with increasing temperature? A, resistance of semiconductor, B, pressure of gas, C, volume of liquid, D, EMF of thermocouple. Look at this option very well. The resistance of semiconductor decreases as the temperature is what? Is increased. So that is the one that is not what? That is not correct. Which of the following physical property does not increase with increasing temperature? So the resistance of a semiconductor decreases with increasing temperature. So the correct option is option A. Next question. When salt is dissolved in water, the freezing point of the water, A, increases, B, remains the same, C, decreases, then D, increase, then later decrease. So whenever an impurity is added to a pure water, the impurity will decrease the freezing point of the water. So the correct option is the freezing point will what? Will decrease. So the correct option is C. The next question, the energy per unit charge transformed in a source of an electrical circuit is that. The energy per unit charge. Now, in physics, work and energy, they go pari passu. So I don't want to use the word energy there, let me use work. So from the statement, that's work divided by what? Divided by charge. This formula in physics will give us V, which is the potential difference. So the correct option is option C, potential difference. For a given system, minimum frequency of standing wave is in a dash. A, fundamental mode, B, lowest mode, C, highest mode, D, peak mode. So when you're talking about wave, the minimum frequency is known as fundamental mode. The correct option is option A. Ammeter with full scale deflection of 10 milliampere has internal resistance of 0.5 ohm. Determine the resistance of the shunts required to adapt it to read up to 3 ampere. This question is coming under the conversion of galvanometer to an ammeter. Galvanometer to an ammeter. And the formula to use there is resistance of the shunt is given by current of the galvanometer multiplied by resistance of the galvanometer divided by So that's the formula. Looking at the parameters in the question, because this current is very low, that will be the current of the galvanometer, because it records a very small amount of electric current. So therefore, the current of the galvanometer is given by 10 milliampere. So that's 10 times 10 raised to power minus 3, multiplied by the resistance of the galvanometer is the internal resistance that is given there. That's 0.5 ohm. Divided by the current of the circuit is given by I, and that was given by 3. That's 3 minus the current of the galvanometer, which is 10 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 3. So from there, if you calculate correctly, 5 times 10 raised to power minus 3 divided by 3 minus 10 exponential 2.99. So from there, 5 exponential minus 3 divided by answer. So if you look at the option that is there, so the correct option is option A. If you approximate this one, that's 0.0017. Property of a fluid that is used to determine its suitability as a lubricant is its dash. A, viscosity, B, capillarity, C, surface tension, D, relative density. Looking at the option very well, the correct option is viscosity, because viscosity is the internal friction between the layers of fluid in motion. So the answer is option A, viscosity. Next, which of the following emission is not radioactive? Which of the following emissions is not radioactive? Look at the option very well. A, X-ray, B, gamma, alpha particle, C, beta, then D, gamma. If you look at it very well, option B to D, they are the particles that are emitted during radioactivity. So the correct option is actually option A. X-ray is not a radioactive emission. Next, the resistivity rho of a material of length L, cross-sectional area A, and resistance R is given by the equation. So from the formula of resistance given by rho L over A, so we want to make the resistivity the subject of formula. So Ra equals to rho L. So rho equals to Ra over L. Look at the option very well. The correct option is actually option B. Rho equals to Ra over L. Next, which of the following expression represents the correct relationship between centripetal force F and angular velocity? Look up. Centripetal force is given by mv square over r, where angular velocity can be seen in this formula, v equals to omega r. If you substitute for v in equation 1, F will be given by m multiplied by omega r square divided by r. So when you open the square at the numerator, you have m multiplied by omega square multiplied by v square divided by, multiplied by r square divided by r. So r will cancel one r here. So we are left with F equals to m multiplied by omega square multiplied by r. Assuming m and r are constants, the relationship will be given as F varies directly as omega square. So the correct option is option B. An object is dropped from the top of a tower. If it takes 4 seconds for the object to reach the ground, determine the height of the tower, given that G equals to 10 meters per second. Now, when an object is dropped from a certain height, it means that the initial velocity of the object is equals to 0. Then the time for the drop is 4 seconds. And we are given that G equals to 10 meters per second square. So we are asked to determine the height of the tower. So we can determine the height of the tower from this formula. H equals to ut plus half gt square. It's going to be positive because the object is dropping with gravity. But if it is against gravity, it's going to change to what? To minus. So from there, everything here becomes 0 because the initial velocity is equals to 0. So h is given by half multiplied by 10 multiplied by 4 raised to power 2. So 4 raised to power 2 will give us 16 multiplied by 10 multiplied by half equals to what? Equals to h. Half of 10 is 5 multiplied by 16. 5 multiplied by 16 will give us 80 meter. So the height of the tower is 80 meter. Looking at the option, the correct option is option B, 80 meter. In semiconductors, the carrier of current at room temperature are A. Electrons only, B. Electrons and holes, C. Holes only, D. Electrons and ions. So the correct option is option B, electrons and O. Electron is a negative charge while O is a positive charge. So those are the carriers of charge at room temperature. Next, which of the following type of thermometer is used in calibration of other thermometers? A. Liquid in glass thermometer. B. Constant volume gas thermometer. C. Optical pyrometer. D. Thermometer. So the correct option is B, constant volume gas thermometer, because it is cumbersome. So it's used in calibration of other thermometers. As the pressure of a fluid increases, its viscosity A increases, B remain constant, C decreases, becomes 0. The answer is C. It's going to decrease. So when you increase the pressure of a fluid, the ability of that fluid to be a viscous liquid will decrease. So the viscosity will decrease. The correct option is option C.